Behind the glamour and acclaim of any successful musician, there often lurks a life filled with travails and challenges that fuel the artist's deepest work. Beth Orton is one such artist. Special correspondent Tom Casciato has this story for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
Music's been deeply personal to Beth Orton for as long as she can remember.
It was kind of an obsession, listening to music. I listened to words and I listened to melodies and I analysed it, but I never really spoke about it to anyone. When I was little, I played piano, just like up and down, you know, like that, moving around on the keyboard. And it was just something I loved to do, and I would do it for hours. I would just get lost in it. And I tried like piano lessons, but I just got wrapped, you know, on the knuckles, and I wasn't good at it, so just gave it up.
Did you have a sense that you might do it professionally?
No, none, ever.
When still young, she suffered twin blows she didn't know how to come to terms with.
My mum, when I was 19, she died very suddenly. She had cancer and just, yeah, that was that. And my dad, he died of a heart attack when I was 11. It was hard to know how to feel about that. Like, how long are you allowed to like feel something, or how long are you allowed to miss someone?
And how can you even process something at that age?
Well, exactly. And I think that I, you know, didn't. But then, you know, at a certain point, you have to feel it.
Beth Orton says she's finally feeling it on her latest release, Weather Alive, an album described by Pitchfork as immersive, soothing, and communal, and the best work of her career. It's a career some 30 years old now. It began at 22 with a unique mix of folk and electronica, and included 2 critically acclaimed records before she was 27. She cries your name. As the century turned, she won the Brit Award for Best Female Soloist. The sky looked like the limit, but there was a but. She was numbing pain that was not only emotional, but physical. Her fans didn't know she'd been suffering since she was a teenager with the painful gastrointestinal malady, Crohn's disease.
And when you made those records in the 90s, were you in a lot of physical pain?
I was in agony. You said you'd stay forever. And I would just get on stage and I would do what I had to do, and then I would get off stage and I would just do what I had to do to numb it. There were tours that had to be cancelled. There was opportunities that I had to like be in a hospital ward and be told that I wasn't allowed to do. The interesting thing about having parents is that you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes by the by when you don't have that kind of support system. And if you have a chronic illness and you don't have a support system and you're kind of being really successful, but you're also under a lot of pressure to be more successful because you're not quite successful, but you are on the cusp of something, it's just like, boom, you don't know where you are.
She says a change began to come when she became a parent herself, with a daughter in 2006 and then a son in 2011.
And the funny thing is, when I had kids, I guess I got emotional sobriety, or tried anyway. I hadn't really learned the kind of skills of being a human.
She's been honing those skills for a decade or so, which also led her toward the raw, image-laden songwriting on Weather Alive.
Lay on your back under spider trays and listen landed on fractals of grace.
This is a record of someone who's waking up to their own life.
The song Weather Alive speaks to being overwhelmed by nature's majesty.
But I very much wrote a much more sensory exploration. For example, you're walking in a mountain and the light suddenly bursts through, you know, you get to the top and the light does what the light does sometimes, you're like, oh my goodness. And like, what would it be to write about that? What is that feeling?
Another song, called Lonely, finds the singer questioning her absent parents about her future.
And I asked my part, so will I be?
I look at my children now at like 11 and 15, how little they are. When I was 11, I was like, you know, out having to kind of like be an adult when I wasn't an adult.
Lonely, 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 lonely,
When you do something that is that emotionally open, what's it like sharing your music with your kids? I can imagine your kids listening to that song and going, gee, Mom sounds like she's pretty lonely.
But I mean, that's taking it a bit literally. I mean, obviously I do sing Lonely about 100 times in that song, but it is one of the biggest kind of achievements in life is to be all right alone, is to be all right lonely, is to embrace all of that stuff. But you ask the children, well, my son does sometimes come in, he did say this line, he said, Mummy, sometimes when you sing, it does sound like you're crying.
Well, I've been dreaming of Proust all day.
It sounds like your son was actually beginning to experience something of what art is.
Yeah, exactly.
30 years on, Beth Orton appears more comfortable than ever with what her art is, and she has some wisdom to impart about it as well.
Just do what you do. Get out of the way of your own process. Create from the truest part of yourself. And then I start sounding like a self-help book. But I mean, there's a reason all those self-help books get written, I suppose, because it's true.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Tom Casciato in Montclair, New Jersey.